Hey there, and welcome to day one of the Master Your Message training. In this training, we're going to spend about 10 minutes every single day just mastering what it is that you do. So let's get right into it. Number one, what is messaging? This is essentially what you do, who you help, and why you help them. And a lot of people think it's how you help them, but it really needs to be why. And I'll share with you during this training. So we'll get there. Okay, so why do I do this? So I always teach from my experience. I've been running businesses on and offline on a part-time basis since 6 years ago. And I started my first online business just about 2 years ago as a health coach. And it was a great experience. I did it because I'm going to just share a little photo with you. My son was about 3, 4 months old. I had finally gotten like a great job in nursing, which was a 9 to 5 job. And for a nurse who used to work, nights, that's a really good job. So I had gotten a 9 to 5 office job in the hospital as a case manager and reviewing charts and really saving the hospital money on a case by case basis. And I was like, oh my gosh, it sucked. My son, I would see him for like an hour a day, really just to clean up and get him to bed. And it was really, really hard for me. And so I decided to start a health coaching business online. And through that time, I was working on that, building that, and started generating some good income from that. And my daughter was born. And having that other form of income really allowed me to sustain my family during this really difficult time. And I went all in, like working on my laptop in the NICU pump room, working on it and moving forward. And I started to expand my income sources. And I really started to see how else I could monetize my business. And through those lessons and that experience, I decided that I hadn't gone through this like traumatic, difficult experience with my daughter for no reason. And instead, it was to help other moms to teach them what I was doing and teach them what I knew. And I realized how much more I knew from my other business in real estate that I had really never like brought into play. And so what I did is I started, doing market research, and I literally spent 2 months in this back and forth, like, what am I doing? Who am I serving? Like, what am I talking about? Until I finally launched that business in January. And it's been an entire year. I've had consistent 5 to 15K months. I now work from home full time, and it's a beautiful thing. I've sold out my coaching practice several times in the last few months, and it's really been a beautiful thing and allowed me the freedom to spend as much or as little time with my kids as I want to while turning a profit in my business. And so what I want to do is share with you how this messaging is really like the foundational piece. If you don't have this, you can't continue on, right? And what I see too many people doing is like building out these big things, funnels and everything, and this is not done. And so let's work through that in this. Now, rest assured, I've walked hundreds of moms through this process and through this system that I created. So here it is. This is the Master Your Message formula. And what we really look at is your passion, what it is that you love, the market, like what are they actually paying for, and your expertise. And I want you to really own that expertise. And we're going to walk through each of these three things throughout the course of this training. So we can do it from like a big, bird's eye view type of thing of your entire business, but we can also look at messaging for a specific product or offer in your business. And for the sake of this training, what we're gonna do is look at it from a big bird's eye view of like everything that you do, because I think some of you have that and some of you don't. And if you do have that, if you already know who you serve, why you serve them, and how you serve them, I still encourage you to go through this training. And the reason is because the way that I teach this is going to pull on your strengths and your achievements and accomplishments throughout your entire life. So may not have been something that you have done before. We're going to get to that tomorrow. So don't worry. I got you covered. Okay. First, today we're going to be focusing specifically on passion. So what is passion? This is really just an extravagant fondness, enthusiasm, or desire for anything. And this is according to dictionary.com. So what I really want to say about this is you cannot freaking get this wrong. Don't be worried about, is this really what I want to do? Or I don't know if this is what I want to do. Or all of these secondhand thoughts that happen. And those are happening because you're not allowing yourself to actually ask yourself what you want. And those might also be happening because of fear that if you choose something, nobody will pay for it. And that's not the purpose of this circle in that Venn diagram that I initially showed you. The purpose of this circle, and that's why I have separated it out, is so that we can work through each piece at a time. We will get to that part about will anyone pay for that. But that's not the purpose of today. And so for today, I want you to think about if you're in that mode, right? Like sometimes it's easier to think about what we don't want than what we do want. And I think a perfect example of this is if you've ever been with your spouse or with your friends and you're trying to decide on where you want to go to dinner. And it can be excruciating because you think like, well, they say, do you want Chinese? And you're like, no, not Chinese. Do you want, such and such steakhouse? And you're like, no, I don't want that. And sometimes it can just be so much easier for us to look at what we don't want. And that's okay. Because I can probably likely, if you're listening to this video, if you were like, do you want to be a neurosurgeon? And you're like, nah, that's not for me. And so be okay with the fact that sometimes it's easier for you to identify what you don't want. And so what I want you to do in today's action item is to journal about what it is that you do and what it is that you don't want to do in your business. If you could get paid for this, like if you could get paid hundreds and thousands of dollars and even millions, what would that be? Like put all the other fears aside and just one container, okay? And then journal on that for about 5 minutes. Brainstorm, like what is coming up for you? What is it that you do want? What is it that you don't want? And then what we're going to do is assign a rating scale. On a scale of 0 to 5, how much would you like to do each one of the things that you brainstorm? Maybe you come up with 2, maybe you come up with 20, maybe you come up with 5 pages. That's okay. You don't need to hold judgment or anything around what's coming up for you. And lastly, so I have the 10-minute breakdown. It's going to be 5 minutes for journaling, 1 minute for rating things, and then come into the Entrepreneurial Moms group for support for the rest of the time. And what I really want you to do here is be open to receiving support around this. Be open to say your frustrations if you can't think of anything or if you're like stuck in any way. And I think just starting with this, being okay with whatever comes up for you is the very, very first step. And so happy to support you in the group. Come on over and let's chat and have an awesome, awesome time journaling. Remember that the transformation happens with action. So you can watch this video all day long. You can continue to think about these things and then continue to be stuck. Or you can take that time. It's only 5 to 10 minutes. It's actually only 10 minutes and 5 minutes of journaling and really put all your thoughts in one piece of paper. Have an awesome day, and I will chat with you in tomorrow's lesson. Bye.